When creating a place for our data to live, we will define the columns or fields that will house the data. Remember that in a properly normalized data table, the fields will represent the smallest piece of information possible. So instead of a single name field, we'll instead break it out into a first name, last name, or even middle name, suffix, and prefix fields if needed. Let's create a table to hold information about the No Obstacle Company's customers. Now there's a couple of different ways to create a new table in Access, all of which can be found in the Create tab. Here in the Tables group, this SharePoint option will create tables on a SharePoint server. The other two options are what we're looking for. We can create a table in either Datasheet view, this option here, or in Design view with this button. Let's start creating our customers table in Datasheet view by clicking on the Table button here. Access will create a new table for us and sets up the first column named ID. If I click on it, I can take a look up here in the data type to see that that is an auto number field. The auto number field is a serial number that Access creates for us automatically. Now, I want to be specific about what type of data this field is holding. So instead of just ID, I'm going to name it Customer ID. I'll double click on the text ID to rename it and type in Customer ID. Go ahead and press Tab to move to the next field. The next field is going to be our first name field. It's going to be text, so I'll choose from the list short text and then give it a name, first name. Go ahead and press Tab or Enter to move to the next field. And this time I'm going to keep my hands on the keyboard. I can use the up and down arrow keys to move through the list of available options. I can move from short text to number, currency, date time, yes, no, lookup and relationships. I can choose rich text fields, long text fields. I can choose to attach files in this field or create a hyperlink. And finally, I have some options for calculating fields. I can also press the underlined letter to jump straight to a field. So for instance, if I want to go back to short text, I'll simply press the T key. Now we'll give it a name. This is our last name field. Notice that when I'm naming my fields, I'm not using any spaces here. Now Access will totally allow you to use a space in the names. It's okay with that. But as a standard user interface convention, I tend to use camel casing, which means all the words run together and we capitalize the first letter of each new word. I'm sure you'll find a convention that works for you. As long as you're consistent, that's really all that matters. Let's take a look at the ribbons now. Notice that while we're working with the tables, we've got two new tabs up here at the top. They're under the Tables Tools group. We've got Fields and Table. Within the Fields tab, we have groups to add new fields here, add and delete. We can change the properties for our fields here. We can change the formatting for those text fields, and we can set up some validation rules. I'm going to add another field here for my phone number. Now you might think that you're going to use this number button here in the Add and Delete group to add in the phone number field. But a phone number is actually going to be added as short text. Phone numbers aren't something that we're going to be mathematically calculating or deriving from. You're not going to add two phone numbers together, for instance. Plus, for a phone number field, we want to store the parentheses and hyphens, the punctuation marks. Remember, short text can be good for alpha and numeric data. I'm going to press that button, and it adds a new field over. Now we can give it a name. I'm going to call it Customer Phone, and press Enter. Now I don't want to add any more fields here, so I'm just going to go ahead and save the construction of my table. Up here on the Quick Access toolbar, I've got a Save icon. It's this purple disk. I'll go ahead and click that, and it brings up the Save As dialog box. You can also use the standard Windows Control-S shortcut key to bring up the Save As dialog box. We're going to go ahead and give our customers table the name Customers, and press OK to save it. You'll notice that that updates over in the navigation pane on the left. Now our database is beginning to take shape. We have a table created where we can begin to collect information about our customers. Access created a primary key for us with this ID field, and we added 3 text fields to hold the last name, the first name, and the customer's phone number.